So I want to talk a little bit about the intersection between you both. What is the relationship like between both of your like the work that you both are doing, and what is that like interaction like when you're navigating different priorities, trade-offs, features, and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I would say the area that Atish and I are focused the most on these days is towards the end of the year, right? So I think one of the things to point out is it's actually a really great problem that we have that most of our members don't know that we have a mobile app. I think it's a really great problem for us to have because there's a very strong distribution channel there. And so, the main area that Atish and I work on together is just like, hey, kind of like fixing the kinks, in the funnel, so that towards the end of the year, we can really drive adoption on mobile and make members happy. Atish, did you want to add anything onto that?
No, I think that's a great one, right? And in general, I'd say Shannon and I and our teams anyway sort of collaborate and discuss and share ideas across the board. So I can give you another sort of different take rather than on a project basis, but kind of a theme where on the growth team, for example, you're sort of constantly trying to drive, say, engagement of new members with creators that they just signed up for, so that you kind of maximize the value exchange, members truly understand the value and then retain better longer. And member retention is a key metric that the growth team's optimizing for. But then on the mobile side and in Shannon's world, there's a longer term strategic theme to generally elevate sort of the discussion, content, community interaction on the platforms, as that creators and members are really thriving over a period of time, are downloading the app and interacting. And so there's sort of shared synergies that cut across various teams of sort of bringing creators together with their closest fans, driving engagement. And there are different flavors of it, different specific goals, but generally, as Shannon mentioned, it's a really small company, small number of people that we kind of share thinking across the board. And then obviously we also collaborate on other non-technical themes about how should we build teams, what are the kinds of people you want to hire, and various things related to engineering culture.
How do you both navigate some of the trade-offs or differences in priorities? Or does that happen? Like, I guess is because there's such a strong sort of anchor North Star for where the organization is going that conflict, like that healthy sort of organizational discourse happens less frequently? Like, tell me a little bit about that.
I mean, I would say actually it happens a lot for the very good reason that Patreon has very big ambitions. There's so much we want to accomplish and only so many things we can do. So there's always going to be more things to do than we can. And I'd say the gap may actually keep widening. So we'll always have to be ruthless about our prioritization exercise. The really good thing about being in companies of this stage is that regardless of sort of specific opinions of what we think will be more important in the short term versus not, everyone is aligned on our vision and our mission and what we're trying to accomplish longer term. So thereafter, any prioritization discussion, whether between our teams or across the company, is around trying to cleanly lay out what kind of impact something may have, what is our confidence level associated with it, how many resources would it take? Is there a natural sequencing that this feature needs to come before that, or that these two need to go out together? And for the most part, it's really a healthy discussion. And typically, we kind of figure out what are the most important things we want to accomplish in this half, and what are the various ways to get that done.
One of the other things that helps also is, as a company, we have a value around just being like creator first, right? And so kind of like using that value, in some of our discussions where there might be hard trade-offs, I think is really helpful in just making the decision a bit more clear. And then, also just to add on to what Atish mentioned is the company is still, in my opinion, like relatively small. And so there's a group of us, on the leadership team that like, hey, when we have to make these trade-offs, it's just really easy for us to come together, get in a room, discuss and like make a decision. I think as a product leadership team, that's one of the areas that we like really spike on is when this team gets together, there's nothing that, this team can't solve. So, and I think the size of the company, especially is helpful with that.